Good afternoon, YouTube. This is man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, this interview I got on the fly. Usually I used to have to give some time, but this one I got off the fly. As you know, yesterday we had a live stream. We had a discussion about bodybuilders versus social media influencers, and this lady was invited. She was invited by my man KLA, the Wanderer. And when I want to start this out, I want to apologize to everybody, letting know that I got her name wrong because KLA, he didn't tell me who was coming, because usually if I know who's coming, I try to get the information right so I can ask the right questions. But she understood, and I appreciate that. We'd like to welcome here the lovely Miss Mandy Squires. She is IFB Pro. She earned a pro card in 2019, but since then she has moved to another direction in life. So we're going to talk to her about how she got started in bodybuilding, what she's doing now, and what she thinks of the sport since she's no longer competing. So, ma'am, welcome. Thank you for coming. And this is a question I ask you ladies. What got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me here and inviting me for an interview. And yes, no worries. I'm not upset about the mix-up. We're all human. It happens. So
yeah.
So I got into the sport. I started at a gym when I was like 15.
Oh, folks, we got a little.
I didn't know anything, so I just started working at a gym. I was doing tons of cardio. I just do cardio and abs. And then there was a personal trainer there, and he saw me there, and he was like, "Hey, I would just train so hard. I used to get people would comment. They would be like, "What are you training for? What are you doing?" Because I'm like, "Nothing. I'm just working out." And then so this personal trainer saw me, and he's like, "You have great genetics. I would love to train you for free if you will do a bodybuilding show." And I was like, "A personal trainer for free? Sure." I kind of knew like this person was probably, smitten with me, but he was significantly older. And so it ended up being, we ended up actually getting into a relationship. And before I got into that though, I was having an eating disorder. So I was kind of fluctuating between bulimia and anorexia. And then I joined the gym, and I was just like giving her. And then I saw this individual saw me, and then he said this to me, and I was like, yeah, sure. So, free education. I'm open for that. And then he started, cause he had won Mr. Ontario, he said at one point, and I was like, sure, I will take in whatever information I can learn. And then he started teaching me that in order to gain muscle, you have to eat. And that took me a while to wrap my head around that whole thing. But I'm sure that is exactly saved me from going down a very terrible path of taking that eating disorder extremely further. So I was able to actually find education and see that there was a different way, because when you would look as a young girl, you'd look at all the models, all the supermodels, and they were super skinny. And at the time, I just wanted to be skin and bone. And then I saw this magazine that he presented, and this female, she had abs, and I was just like, oh, I love that. I love the look of that. And so that stuck with me. I did my first bodybuilding competition when I entered my first one when I was 16. I was late. And so I just did the evening portion, and then I entered another one after that. And I didn't really know what I was doing, and he really, he wasn't the greatest trainer, now that I know what I know, but he gave me enough information for me to plant the seed. After the actual full competition that I did at 16, After the show, there was a advertisement to do entertainment wrestling, like to possibly get a reality TV show. So then they were practicing in Burlington, and I lived in Newmarket, Ontario at the time. So, which is like a few hours away. And I started training for entertainment wrestling. And so I did entertainment wrestling for a while for like a women's entertainment wrestling league. And that was pretty cool. We did a pilot eventually with Sensational Scary Sherry from the WWE. She was in it, but the show didn't end up selling to anywhere. So after that, it was just kind of like I've had enough of that because all the break falls, and I proceeded with my life. I ended up eventually breaking up with that boyfriend when I was 23. I worked at a bar serving, and I met my husband, my ex-husband, now ex, and I got married, had 2 kids, and I didn't really compete or do anything like that, but I continuously worked out, lifted at the gym maybe 3 to 4 times a week. And then I had 2 kids. And then after my second child, me and my ex, we separated. And because then I was like, and I decided to get back into the gym and knew that there was a passion that I hadn't explored yet. So now I didn't really have to give time to our relationship. So I started giving time to what I wanted to do for myself. So then I just put time into competing and learning what there was to learn about competing. I then entered my first official competition because this time I was going in as an adult with a little more maturity under my belt to understand the process, but I still had no idea what I was doing. And I didn't have any friends or anything that like to bounce off of. I didn't really talk to people in the gym about because I've kind of been very to myself. I just go and do my thing. I'm an introvert, I guess you would say. And so how I first did it was that I entered my first competition knowing that first my love was figure. Like I enjoyed the look of being a figure competitor. So that was my first category that I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. So I entered my first competition, and it was in Niagara Falls. And I knew that I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't even go to a show, like officially sit at a show. I didn't know anything. I was just like, I'm just going to go see what it's all about, and I'll pick up what I need to learn. So I did that, and I was like, oh, you have to pose. You have to know about what are these quarter turn things. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just like, I'm here to absorb and to figure it out. So that's exactly what I did. I figured out all the things that what's my next step? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn? And I did. I came in dead last in that one, but that was just like, it didn't bother me because I knew that this was just me trying to figure out, okay, what is this about? How do I, what do I need to know? I have no information, but I know I want to do this thing. So I'm just going to immerse myself into this and figure it out. So then I found out that you had to do posing, and then there's posing workshops that you can take. And I was like, okay, cool. So that's what I need to do. So I entered some posing. I started going to some posing workshops, and I entered my next competition 6 months later, and I took first place in figure in that one. So I significantly learned from that experience. And then it was shortly after that, I started, and I was completely natural, and I entered a natural body, a bodybuilding in Barrie, and I did figure, and then I was bodybuilding, sorry, women's physique. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's all this new stuff. this new types of posing, and how do I learn about this? So then I started just diving into that area and figuring out how to do the posing for that. And I had met on that way of doing a few figure competitions. I had met a new relationship, a boyfriend. He was significantly younger than me, but he has since passed away.
I'm sorry.
And he was competing, and he was a big guy, and he was like, I'm going to help. I'll be able to help you. He reached out to me on social media, and we started just meeting up as friends and working out, and he was just kind of guiding me about supplements and things that I had no idea about. And so I kind of was really looking at him as my guide through the journey, and he helped me a lot. And then I progressed pretty quickly, and I was too big for a figure in the regional. So then that's when I started looking at doing the women's physique. And then I just quickly progressed, took significantly, because I was a single mom with two small babies, two small kids during this journey as well. And so take chunks of time off in between. There was so after I took about a 5-year hiatus, but working towards like knowing that my goal was to step into a women's physique, into not the natural, but the like I don't know what you call it, the opiate, not the natural, but the to get it so that I could get into the IFBB, the OPA, the Ontario organization that directs you, that you have to eventually step into the IFBB, the Pro League. So I took that time, I killed it, I learned, and then when I knew it was time to like compete, I just felt it within my being, and I was like, that's it, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to win my pro card this year. And then I remember telling some people, and they would be like, oh, that would be nice, but you shouldn't put that, as your thing. And I'm like, no, you don't know. I'm gonna go, like, I'm winning my pro card. It's like, it's already happened. I'm now just doing the things that are gonna get me there. Like, this has happened already. So then, yeah, I stepped in 2019, women's physique. I competed in both categories, women's physique and women's bodybuilding. So I didn't realize I had gained so much muscle. Because like my original thought was figure, and now here I am all at women's bodybuilding. And I didn't, like, I was more going for women's physique. And then I did the pro qualifier 2019, and I took the pro card overall for women's bodybuilding, came in second for women's physique. So yeah, it was a really wonderful, cool year. And that's how I got there. And then of course, we know the world shut down after that. And I started to really just I started learning a lot about real health and holistic nutrition and like the ways of the world. And I was very aware of what was going on, and I was outspoken right from the beginning about this whole stuff that was happening around the world, and then I was really just taking a spiritual path, looking at myself, looking at holistic nutrition, looking at realizing that a lot of the things that I was doing that I thought was healthy, or that I was like overcompensating, my health for my image, for aesthetics, and kind of like really looking and reevaluating my whole life and my whole structure, and looking inside in my internal world, and um, and society as a whole. And so I started to go into more in-depth journey into my inner world. And I then started I did some ayahuasca ceremonies. And that was really, it was really fed by also, like, I was in, after my pro card, I ended up being in a relationship. And so, like, when I started looking at all of my personal relationships and lack of personal relationships, and saw these toxic patterns starting to play out, and I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do here? I do not want to be continuing in this toxic pattern. So who's the common denominator? It's me. So, okay, now I need to learn myself and get to know myself and see what it is that, what's happening inside of myself that will bring in certain energies and experiences and dynamics, because we magnetize other people, other relationships and experiences in order to show us something about ourselves, because this journey in life is really a journey of getting to know our true self after all the false masks and limiting beliefs and, like, uh, other people's thoughts and structures and society's thoughts and structures. So, like, who are you truly, and how do you, and living in alignment with who you are. And so um, that was really what sparked my journey to be like, okay, I'm not living in alignment. I'm not happy. My body hurts. I want to, what is it that I truly want in life? And how do I want to feel? And how do I be a better mom for my kids and be able to bring in better relationships, because my relationships are going to affect them. It's going to affect me. How do I be a giving citizen and serve the world and society? And is what I'm doing truly serving society, or is it, like, hindering society? And, like, let's really look at these aspects. And so that's when, I was just like, it's really hard, because you have a big ego death, because you create an identity, right? A certain identity that you work so hard for and bring yourself up, and, like, that's, like, you put all this work and effort, and now you've built yourself into an established, like, image, and whether you like it, and it's like, do I like that image? And, like, these people, like, this isn't even the real me. These people have no idea who I am. And but I built this image off of projections, and I went along with it. And then I explored my darkness and my shadows and other people's darkness and their shadows, so that I could, like, really just get into understanding myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's really good. I mean, and also the story that you used to wrestle with Sherry Montel, aka Sensational Sherry, Scary Sherry, WBE legend. I mean, I remember watching her back when she was wrestling other organizations, and then she was over with WCW, and she was with, the Macho King and all that, and this path you found for yourself. I know, I remember talking to Amanda Patak, how doing when the pandemic hit for her, that's the reason why she couldn't stop competing, because it was tough. Because my mom, she got infected with the virus, she passed away,
Mm.
and you find yourself now, your mom with two kids, and you're doing your own thing, and you're finding your own light. Here we are here, the troublemaker himself, my man KLA. He says this, hey, what's happening? Yeah, shout out to KL. He said, you should have asked, hey, you, why should I have to ask? You're the one who told me where your guest is. Also, this is from you. It says, I seen you in The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis. LOL. Yes, I did. Also, this is from a man, Balls Deep. Gabby Keller, Balls Deep. He says, "Good morning, gorgeous." He's a fan. Also, he says, says, salute to me and also KAL. Salute to you, back to you, brother. Also, he says, she's swole and sexy and swole as AF. You must look at the pictures. And also, KLA says, behave, Balls Deep, behave. And also from Balls, he says, Schmo gang, 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 gang. And also, he says, smash the like button. And also, he says, peace and blessings. Thank you, brother, for peace and blessings. So, dealing with relationships and also dealing with, you had the eating disorder when you were young, and and your relationships with your first coach and then your husband and your kids. And how old are your kids?
Uh, they are, um, one's going to be 12 in August, and the other one's 15. She's going to be 16 in November.
Okay, so yeah, a 16 year, you got a teenager, so and you ever show her like your picture, say, this is what her mom used to do. I was competing, and say, Mom, why used to do that? Do your kids ever interested in sports or maybe get into like something like into bodybuilding in the future?
I don't think that they'll be into bodybuilding, but that's up to them. Like, I don't enforce anything upon them, but they got to grow up and see me doing that. So I just hope that health and physical fitness ends up being within, because it should be an integral part of everybody's life if you want a fulfilled, happy, healthy life. So that's all. I just want to help them figure out, like, what is your joy and how do you, like, because it doesn't have to be bodybuilding. It doesn't have to be this, like, and then part of my coaching is too, it's just like everybody has an individual journey, so like how can we find what works for you being an individual? And there's an importance, I really believe that everything has an important aspect to physical fitness, to have resistance training, to have yoga, to have like HIIT training, to have a whole rounded training regimen, and not to be just so specific to one, and then not to bad talk the others. Like, how they bad talk, you're into bodybuilding, let's bad talk, what is it?
Fitness shaming.
CrossFit, or, like you've got the talking about, oh, I'm bodybuilding's better, no, CrossFit's better, no, and then the bad talk each other, when really it's no, everything has such beautiful aspects and so many things that you can learn and take from that. So like, it's like, what can I learn from that? And there, it's like your body can develop differently, and it's like, how do I develop myself through each of these avenues? But if you do too many avenues, you can't really develop yourself. So you have to, like, you got to go specific to one, learn what you can from that, and then take what you like and love, and then you can, learn a different art.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope that they do pick up physical fitness, but it's very important to me that I'm not like, you have to do this, because then you're creating resistance so you have to teach your kids through example, right? And I think a lot of parents, or you may have done this, or may you may hear, like, do what I say, not as I do. Sometimes, you can't, if you're a parent smoking and drinking and you're trying to teach your kid not to do that, your kids copy and they see, and it's like, what are you learning? What patterns are you teaching them? What is the environment that you're creating for them? So in order for them to be able to absorb, pick up, and develop these healthy patterns, they've got to see it through, their parental figures. And then if you don't see that as a parental, through your parental figures, and you pick up bad patterns, then you end up, eventually it's either going to be repeated until there is that person that finally decides to break that generational toxic pattern. And then it takes a lot to stand in that and to break pattern, and then to be that person and that guide, and be a good example of what what is possible.
Well, here we got here from a man, Lawrence Perkins. Shout out to Lawrence. It says, "Good morning, Mandy, George, and everyone on the chat." Thank you, Lawrence. Also, we got this from man Vass. He says, "Mandy is the prettiest female bodybuilder of all time. Greetings from Cyprus." He's from Cyprus, which is a little ways from Greece. Also, this is from a man KL. He says, "How do you improve on your diet, Mandy?" So you also are a coach and trainer. Do you nutrition too in your practice?
Yeah, so I'm not certified as a nutritionist or a dietitian. I just like to say that. But what I like to do is to bring awareness and guidance so I can do that. And it's really not that difficult at all. But what you have to do, you have to make small changes first. Because my thing is, if you do too much at once, yeah, you might be excited, right? And then you might like, okay, I'm going to start this new journey. And then like you create this big plan and it's like, boom, it's like 360 of what you're used to doing, right? And then why do people fall off? Okay, you've got this new 360 plan and that's so different from what you were doing. And then so like you do it for what? How long till you're like, holy shit, I can't keep up with that. Yeah, I just lost interest. Well, why? Because you did it in a way where it wasn't manageable and sustainable for you. Like you have to be able to create a habit. It takes 21 days to create a habit, 60 days to like really concrete that habit, like solidify it. So you have to be able to do small little changes and awareness of like why. So like, and just a reflection too. I didn't have too many coaches myself. I'm mostly self-taught and self-led, but I did have for my pro card for my two shows that were back to back to where I got my pro card. I did hire a coach, Freak Fitness, and Jeff Ingram was my coach on that. And so just like for the last like 9 weeks or 10 or 12 weeks, I hired a coach for myself just to like kind of help me figure out how to dial in. But when I observe through, I don't know how I've observed through social media or listening to other people or like, even through receiving the small little bit of coaching, but the way that I operate and work is that I can't just do something just because you tell me to do it. I need to know and understand why, the reasons why. So because that's how I am, that's how I would coach is like, and I feel like you are going to follow through with what you're going to do when you actually have the comprehension of what it is that you're providing to your body and why you're doing the things that you're doing. Because when you have the knowledge and the comprehension and then setting the intention, putting the energy, you are going to stick with it. You're going to understand what you're doing. If you don't, you're just like, I'm just supposed to do this. It's like a kid. Okay, so like a lot of times, let's look at humans. Most of humans are adult children. And so if you think about being a kid and being told what to do, you're just going to kind of do it, but you're not really going to care. And then you're probably going to you're not really going to have your heart and your mind into it because you're just like, I'm just following, like a mechanical thing. I'm just following orders. You're not really invested in it. You don't understand it. You're just doing it because you're told to do. If the teacher tells you to do something, you kind of do it. But if you actually then think about you as an adult, when you actually understand and comprehend a certain thing that you're told to do, you're actually going to follow through with it, and it becomes a part of you, right? And so it's now it's not this thing that is like, oh, I have to do this, and then you have this negative and this resistant energy to it, which is like creating blockages, right? You're more going to be like, oh, understand, this is why I'm putting this into my body and this is what it's doing for me. And like when you understand that and the energy becomes like more love, like this is love that I'm providing my body, this is nourishment, this is helping my body, this is healing my body. I'm loving my body through this rather than like, oh my God, it's something that I have to do, I have to like cardio, I have to eat this food, like thinking like just in that you can feel the resistance, right? Whereas it's like, oh, okay, well, why do I have to drink water? Well, because I'm an electrical being. And so my brain and all my organs and my blood flows so much better. And so, like, when I'm providing my body with water and electrolytes, natural electrolytes, which is Himalayan salt, is allowing my neurons in my brain to connect, and I'm able to think better, and my emotions are better, and I'm able to operate in life better. And my body's working, my blood's flowing, and I'm able to move better, and I feel better. So when you understand, okay, that's why I need to do that rather than just do this.
Yeah, there's a lot to this, especially in your training, working out, you follow a diet. You have to be consistent, especially if you're a competitor, or just anybody who's in a sport. And you have to find what works for you. Because, like I said, a lot of people, especially for women, your biology is different compared to men. And I know some ladies who left the coach because he was given the same plan he gave to her, he
Mhm.
gave to one of his male competitors. And you just can't. You just got to figure out how somebody works. Like, water is important. I know I need to drink more of it myself, but water can be boring. But it's about what you take, the information you use it. And like I said, I say this often. People tell you trust the process, but you have to understand the process first before you invest into it and trust it. Here. This is from my man Balls Deep. He says, uh, how many days a week she trains? So what's your regimen like? Because you say you just finished yoga. So what's your regimen during the week when you're working out training?
Well, I train minimum 5 days a week, usually 5 days a week. Always trying to get some sort of activity in, like walking or whatever, like every day. You should move your body every day. Your body needs movement for so many reasons. But yeah, for lifting like, it's always been 5 days a week for me.
Yeah. We have here another guest, and this is somebody this is the female bodybuilding channel. This is my man JB from JB Films. He usually is in here. Says, hey, you to Canada, and that's where she is, Canada, where I'm a big fan of a lot of ladies from Canada, and there's a great, amazing contingent of women come from Canada, because I do quite a few interviews from you ladies in this country. So, and also we have a comment, and this is from KLA. He says, when did you realize you didn't want to compete anymore? Now, you said it was pandemic, but was it so many other things besides the pandemic that made you decide that you want to move into more your holistic lifestyle away from bodybuilding?
I feel like my answer will be triggering to some people.
No, this is my channel. You can say what you want to say.
Okay, so I'm very much about integrity, and I also understand how the body works. I also understand how, spiritually speaking, things work, and what the lesson universally is when we are going through something as a society. Um, when I decided I didn't want to compete was when I realized that you had to get a passport in order to step on stage, and you had to wear this. And so, like, I understand you're saying, you're like, so I don't want to get the wrong information, or say, like, I'm not compassionate, or say the wrong thing, because as you mentioned, your mother passed away, right? So I don't want to disregard or say, like, I don't have compassion for any of that. Most people, there's a lot of people that were stepping on stage that weren't actually, didn't legitimately get the passport. It was a fake one. Plus, like, when you're dealing with health, I don't want to, like, I feel I'm just worried. I don't want to say the wrong thing and upset or trigger you, but, like, when it comes to health and wellness, what the big lesson about this is that you have to really work on your actual true health and work on your own your like your body's natural immunity and being healthy. And when your body is healthy, it has the best natural immunity, that there is nothing that could be better than your natural immunity through good health. And so the pandemic is ridiculous in terms of we have a health crisis, but then we're going to push this thing that we have no information about, and then we are also going to keep things like like alcohol open, which kind of like that is damaging for your health and wellness and your immunity, as well as your mental health on top. And we're going to celebrate you through giving you free donuts and free pizza. And all of these things are things that actually kill your immunity and damage your health, and are the very reasons that a lot of people will end up succumbing to the illness, is because your body is not functioning and running properly. And then we're going to then push the things that you're already doing, which is creating an unhealthy body in the first place. And we're going to push these onto you and keep you in a state of sickness while we give you this thing, which is keeping you in a state of needing to have that, as well as keeping you sick. So like the whole thing was just like nothing was making sense. People were lacking integrity. People and then I was like, I'm not going to step on stage when, to me, I did it because like I wanted to get into bodybuilding, and health was because of health reasons. And then I started to realize like how unhealthy some of the aspects were when you're taking things and when you're taking things to an extreme level, like the pros, you're using PEDs in a responsible manner. But the women bodybuilding too, I did not even take all the things that my coach had for me to take. I was like, this is too much. No, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that. I will never touch that. I pretended to take some of this stuff. I just said yes. I didn't actually say. I used what they gave me, and then I probably took it down, and then didn't use half of the, like even the over-counter supplements, because they all overlapped. And I was like, these things, like people, like things are being pushed that's not necessary for the body. It's being overlapped. It's commercial because people have a gain for it. And then like, let's look at society and where the money and where the gain is. And just things were they weren't aligning properly. And so then I was like, I'm not really in alignment with this. And then I dove deeper into like, what is it that I want? And then I was also doing muscle modeling, right? And that wasn't even truly in alignment with me as well. So it was a lot. It was a big awakener for me to really like look at myself and who I truly am, and how I've been just wearing these masks and just, because I love the look. I love pushing, challenging my body. It's fun. It's fun for me. There's a warrior aspect in me that absolutely loves that, because it's like this mind, like this connection. I love like, how can I challenge myself? Same thing with the hot and cold plunges, or like, any type of challenge. It's like, it's fun for me. Mm-hmm. But when it comes into other aspects of like, okay, uh, it ended up realizing, okay, I created a situation where like, um, and I had to explore myself, like where I became a fetish, and I'm like, this isn't really what I wanted to be. But I was like, I had to like get curious about it because like I didn't even know that this stuff existed, and I'm like, okay, what is this about? And like, how can I really know anything if I don't dive into it and then see what it is? And I was curious, like, why, like, what is the draw between this, spiritually speaking, what's going on? And then I just I look at things in a very different way, and I can understand that a lot of times the desire is actually wanting to integrate, like it's actually the spirit. So all of you guys who actually are like so finding such a desire and a pull, it's like you're wanting, when you have like such a crazy pull to something, it's your spirit's desire to actually want to integrate that, some of those aspects into your own self. So like your ego is scared and protects you and doesn't want to do that, and makes you think like, oh, I just have this sexual attraction. But really, when you pull all those things away, it's really you wanting to integrate those aspects within your own being. And once you start doing that, you will stop seeing this like this unconscious crazy pull towards it, because now you've done the work and the healing and you've integrated that, and you can actually look at someone as a person rather than like this unconscious like objectification.
But his problem is this: humans, we are creatures of visual sight, and we're going to be into something physically at first. We're not going to think about the conscience that say she has a great brain. We're going to look at she has a great boob, she got great ass, she got big muscles. We see the things that we see in front of us. The things we can't see in front of us, we can't really understand. And when people take something like, especially bodybuilding, where it is a big fetish for a lot of these guys. Most of these guys here are here because you're a bodybuilder. They come here and say they want to see, check it out. Guys that just are entrenched by it. And there's a lot to this world that some people may not understand. Like when the pandemic hit, here was the thing is, people needed an answer. And that was one of the answers. The mask was the answer. Vaccinations is the answer. There's so much people want. And then food, as y'all know, food is both a weapon and a tool. It can be something that you comfort you, but also can things to do things to you. Because I can tell you right here, I'm a big dude. I eat quite a bit. I'm being a little smarter now that I got older. I don't eat as much. I try to eat a little healthier, but still I have my habits. I have those things that, that just I want. Sometimes there's things that in life that it doesn't make you stranger. It makes you stronger. So, and you have to make that choice. What do you want out of this? And people who might try to find a way to get around it, they eventually get caught up. Because, there's never a simple or easy solution. Anything in life worth having is never going to be easy. You have to work for it. You have to earn it. And sometimes, you try to skip over the next man, then, it's going to get back in your ass later on. Here we got a comment here from my man, Lawrence Perkins says, when a person talk, we learn by divining in their own world. Thank you, Lawrence, for saying that. Also, this is from my man, Lawrence again, says, nothing much just came on through show support, K and yay. It's 11:46 at my destination. Thank you, brother. Say no doubt. And also, this is from Vasi says, he says, greetings from Cyprus to the most beautiful female bodybuilder ever. That's shot. So, and yeah, it's a lot. People got to understand, the time you put into the sport, the money you put into the sport, you can really invest in something else. And you sell a products, or you have your own stuff out now?
Well, no, I don't really, like I have like a Juice Plus business, which is like so I take Juice Plus, which is like fruits and vegetables in a like whole fruits and vegetables in a capsule, and I really like stand by this product. It's, instead of being a synthetic vitamin, it's it's real fruits and vegetables. It's actually whole foods. And because we're not getting enough, and actually I'm neurodivergent, so, and like I really don't like to eat a whole variety of foods. I typically I like sometimes like the same foods over and over and over. So like me being able to find something where I can put some variety of like real whole fruits and vegetables into my diet, as I wish I didn't know about this before when I was competing. I wish I would have known about it when I was competing. Because like it's a way, because when you're training, and so this was part of it too. I was thinking, okay, well, what does my body need? My body needs way more fruits and vegetables. If you're prepping for competition and you can't have fruits, like you have to take all sugars out. And I'm like, but my body needs that. So that was a concern for me in terms of that. I'm like, okay, well, I really need to like allow my body to be healthy. And, but this I can take and it's not going to have sugar. So I can get actual fruits into my body, but then you're not getting the fiber. So I take this, you're supposed to take it in like as you're eating all your other foods too that you eat, right? So it's just to help you get more of that good stuff within your body. So yeah, I have that, as well as we do a tower garden where you can grow your own it's a hydroponic system to grow your own vegetables or whatnot, and that's really amazing. But on my own, I'm launching my own fitness coaching with psychodynamics, which is like shadow work. And that I'm really excited about. So it's like really just like we can look at what is unconscious and what are your unconscious blockages, and what's permitting you from actually stepping into doing, what your true self actually wants, stepping into your personal power, and like and just getting to know yourself. And I can either do just shadow work with clients if they just want that aspect type of coaching. I can do just fitness if they just only want strictly fitness, or I can combine the both.
Mm-hmm. We have your man Davis Evans coming through. He says, hello, hey everyone. Say hey Davis. Folks, while we have Mandy here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into social media a little bit and look at some stuff, information about her. If you want to follow Mandy, the links for her social media is in the description of this live stream. You go check it out. And this is no fish humanity. I tell this to every guy who follow you ladies, guys. She has kids. Be respectful. No D pics. Stop it. Get some help. Come on, this is a nice lady. She had time to talk with me. So come on, guys, respect it. So we're gonna jump into your social media for a bit here. And and this is a video that I saw you were doing. I think you were out maybe doing a little walkabout, and you were talking a little bit, and I think people might want to hear this.
Coach. So what is it that I do differently? And why should anyone hire a coach anyways? Hiring a coach in anything, yeah, everybody has the capability to figure it out on their own. But truth be told, most of us don't do it on our own now, do we? Not that we're not capable of doing it on our own. A lot of times it's just that it takes a lot of time, energy, focus, planning, organization, and accountability, when really we have so many other things going on in our lives, right? That the most successful people in anything learn how to delegate. They learn how to delegate tasks out to people who are experts in that field, as well as when stuff is delegated, then you have free headspace and energy to focus on other aspects of your life. But also you want to be efficient to be able to accomplish and be the best that you can be. The reality is you keep saying, yeah, I need to do this. I want to do this. This is my goal. Have you done it? Have you accomplished it? Have you achieved it? And yeah, most likely you do truly know certain things that you could be doing, but there's something getting in your way of achieving that. So what could it be? It's usually a lot of unconscious programs that we're not aware that is actually causing these invisible walls and blockages. So coaching with me is not going to get you any cookie cutter type of thing. We're going to do one-on-one coaching. I'm going to listen to you and your needs. And then we're actually going to meet once a week, and we're going to talk about what could be getting in the way, looking at those what's in the subconscious, looking at what's in the shadows, and identifying those. We might do some meditation techniques. We might do some creative conversation. I will adjust the plan as need be. I will be introducing things in a specific progressive way so that it is not all at once, so that it's not overwhelming for your mind, body. We actually learn to integrate these habits. It's a lifestyle one by one so that it becomes easy, so that it becomes natural, so that it's not shocking your body, so that you don't just go all in, become overwhelmed, and then just give up. Because we're not doing this because we want some surface level short-term goal to only go back to the way you were or even worse. We are actually bringing you into the best version of you, of where you actually truly honor you, your health, and your body, and to enjoy fitness with yourself. Only a few spots opening. Special will only be limited because once I start rolling, the prices are going to be going up. So now is your best time to get on board and to actually make a change for you. And I'd love to be able to truly work with you if you're truly ready to make the change. So send me a message.
All right. So that's some good advice. And do you like being a coach and training just people, helping them out with their process and their health?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's like I love the whole. Basically, I'm more into being a transformational coach, like doing the whole. It's not just the body, but you have to use your like exercise and your eating as part of the aspects of your own transformation, because like when you are healthy in your body, you're able to be more healthy within the world. And to be able to witness and to guide someone along that journey is an amazing gift to be, because we're supposed to be giving our gifts to the world. So how can I be of service to the world? It's through helping people with their own health and how to love their body and how to love themselves. And when they love their body and themselves, like truly, not like, it's not, oh, I'm turned on by my body, which is like you want that aspect, like feel good and confident in your body, but it's like, do I truly honor myself? And then when you're honoring yourself, you're able to honor another person. You can't do unto other people what you don't do unto yourself. And you can't see what's in another person if you haven't seen that within yourself. Like it's just full of projections. And that's where the shadow work comes in, is bringing the unconscious conscious. And then so like better you get to know yourself, the more that you're going to know others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's about the process of how you grow and develop as a person and how you see yourself and where you want to go in your path. There's a lot to it that people need to understand. Here's some pictures when you were competing, and was this the year we got your pro card, or was this another show?
That was the show right before the pro card.
Uh-huh. And she got the helmet and the sword. What was that feeling when they told you, when you officially say to you, now you are IFB pro?
It was amazing. Yeah, like it's just kind of like surreal. So it's just kind of, sometimes I'm the kind of person that sometimes I don't feel my feelings right away. So like I'm just kind of like, ooh, is this real? Okay, cool. Did this just happen?
Yeah, it's like real life. It's just boom. Some women just like spent so many years. I know somebody who spent 20 years, 30 years working out, training, competing, and then they finally get their pro card. It's just something. It's just a sensation. I remember I watched one woman who I interviewed a while back. When she got a pro card, she fell to her knees and she just cried because she spent so long competing. And also this is a part to talk about your Juice Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a brand ambassador, of this company, or?
Well, I'm not sure what it's called. It's what are they called? And it's not really maybe it's a brand ambassador, but like it's more like, well, you make an income if you sell them. So it's not like the other stuff where like you're an affiliate and you like, I don't know, after you make like 5% or whatever, but it actually is a business. So I don't know what they're called.
Well, you know, have some companies that you just represent the company to give you the numbers so somebody can use your code, and there's so many
Yeah,
different things about this, that but I think ambassadorship does help for competitors, especially the cost of traveling, doing the shows, and especially for you ladies. You got to remember, for you women, the cost of competing is way more expensive,
it is, but that's
because
where so that's been another thing where I have kind of not really dove in or done ambassador ambassador type of work or sponsorships, because for me to do something, I have to totally be on board, and it has to I'm not just going to say, "Hey, I take this thing so that I could sell it," if I'm not truly taking it and loving all of and in agreement with all of the things that I'm promoting. I think a lot of people in social media and do that just so that they can make their money. For me, I'm not going to promote or say anything if I don't believe in that. If So that's why with Juice Plus, it's real whole fruits and vegetables. I believe in that. I don't believe in all the many commercial products that a lot of commercial companies are selling. So, and I am sure that has been a hindrance to my own, I guess, publicity, and popularity, because I didn't promote big names, and therefore they didn't help me get my name out, because, and that's a lot of times, if you play the game as you're supposed to, as the game is to be played, and you would search, you want to get a big name brand, and you'd want to get sponsored by them, even if they're not even really paying that much, because it's going to get your name out there, and then it's going to boost your ratings and your popularity and things like that. But that I didn't. I'm different. I don't really care about that stuff. So I never I have to be in complete alignment, and I have to feel like what I'm doing, because if I'm going to tell someone to take something, I have to feel like this is real and this is honest. I cannot do something that isn't honest. I'm not
Mhm.
going to say, "Here, take this product," if I don't believe in it. And I'm not going to do it just so that I could get my name out there. I think that is, I can't be. That's why, I'm not in the same game. I can't play that game, because that's not a game I want to play. And I'm directing things to be a different way, to be more in alignment, more authentic. And that's where the world is going. Just some people are going to be trailing a little slower. We're about now, you have to be about authenticity and about more holistic health. And we are we're changing the parameters. The whole world is shifting, and infrastructures are changing and being broken down, and the weirdness that everyone talks about is done on purpose. Is because we have not been living in a world that's sustainable. So in order for so spiritually speaking, the everything has a consciousness, and if it's everybody has to be shaken. We have to shake things up in order to restructure everything in a better way. And if we don't fall on track, and smarten up, um, there are repercussions to that.
So you like this. You don't want to sell your beliefs or your soul just to get the almighty dollar. A lot of
Mm-mm.
people, that's a different situation. If there's opportunity to get money, they're willing to put themselves out there to take that chance. Because you know what? As you all know, bodybuilding is not a very lucrative sport. It's not a lot of money to make out of it unless you are a top level competitor or if you are a sponsored athlete. And I've talked to some people that said that they wouldn't want to do a product or use a product if they don't use it or they are behind it because they don't want to just say, I just want to grab a check so I can pay for my coach or I can pay for my travel expenses or I pay for my food. I want to use something that I know that is significant in my life and has a purpose. Here we get here a comment from a man, KL. He says, "What's your favorite fruit? Have you ever tried the yellow watermelon? I actually tried it this weekend." So, you have a favorite fruit?
I never heard of yellow watermelon. That's different. Is that man-made?
I hadn't watermelon in years.
I have watermelon in my fridge, a normal watermelon. Never had a yellow one. That's interesting. I don't know about that one. My favorite fruit, actually, my favorite is berries. I love blueberries and raspberries.
Yeah, so like my man Doc Holliday, I'll be your huckleberry. So that's here is from a man KL. He's a fan. He says, "How do you learn about the consciousness through your own perspective? Did you go to school or did someone teach you?" So this is something you learn on your own, or do you have a teacher or somebody you follow that have shared these beliefs with you?
I am my teacher. We're all our own teachers. We're the best teacher that we have. All the information, and that's where like you come to learn is that even how I got through everything is you are everything, first of all. But your answers have to come from the inside, your inner guru. This is your teacher in here in alignment. So whatever information that you get on the external, you sit with and you're like, okay, what sits as truth? And you sit with that. So you are first and foremost. Everything on the external is meant to be initiators or agitators in order to like spark curiosity within you. And then with that curiosity, you take that and you explore it, and then you take it to your inner guru, and then you sit with that. And so, but your environment around you, the people that you talk to, the information like that you follow, things on Instagram or like whatever information, it's going to create your environment, which is going to create the programs within you, which is going to then create the thoughts, and your thoughts create behaviors, and your behaviors create the actions that you put out into the world and your experiences. So it's very important that you understand that your environment is very important. So like what you take in, what you digest in food, in visual stimulation, in like that you're reading, in audio, it's all an environment which is feeding everything within you, which is feeding your cells, your manifestation, your creation, and how you create the world that you live. So therefore, when you have a social media platform or whatever, like just know that whatever you're taking in, you're creating. So what is the information that you're feeding yourself? Is it a positive? Is it something that you want to create? And how are you processing whatever you're watching? Is it making you feel good about yourself? Is it making you feel bad about yourself? Is it making you think? Is it making you, what's it doing? So that like everything is your teacher. So I don't have the simple answer to the question. I know I don't have a particular teacher guru. I use everyone and everything as my teacher, but my ultimate teacher and guru is within me.
Yeah, well, that's a long way to get around with it, folks, but that she got to it. So yeah, it's good that you found your own way. Some people, they need guidance, especially when they get into a new path. Sometimes they look at somebody who they follow or look at somebody who knows about this stuff. It's so much to understand. I'm just basic guy. I just eat, breathe, shit, and die. That's about for me. But really, you found your way, and I think it's a way that works for you. It may not work for everybody else, but it's something that people have to be acceptable to or be willing to accept it. Especially social media. We remember yesterday we had to talk about social media, how social media is both a weapon and a tool. It's a way people can get information, but also people use it in wise. Like anytime I do my interview, especially when I go to your social medias, I tell guys, don't send these ladies dick pics, because conversations I have with ladies, guys are kind of weird. And you also, like I said, again, you did a lot of the fetish stuff to get all the photos off. That's where, like, it's true for the guys who follow women's bodybuilding, do follow most of those sites, because, and that's why I call them the meat websites. That's what they are. We all know that. But it's a way, instead of getting for it to make money. Maybe not good money for everybody, but some people got a way to make a profit for themselves, to try to make a living. If bodybuilding was more like a mainstream sport, where in which you can make a living off of it, where you don't have to, some ladies I know have to work 2 jobs. Some women have to save if they want to compete. And there's so much to it. It can be both stressful. It's a sport that's demanding on you mentally, physically, psychologically. There's so much that people need to understand. Here, my man KLEC gives you the answer. He says, I learned the yellow watermelon is grown in Africa. Okay, so that's where it's from. Okay, you might see what I'm saying.
Nice.
And also he says, everyone can't be a teacher in my own experience, but I understand. And also he says, you looked fascinating when you was competing. Not much hasn't changed, just a little compliment. So do you ever think you might want to go back competing, or you think now you're content to where you're at now in your life?
As of right now, I have other goals, other aspirations. I'm focused on evolution, so what's going to evolve? How am I going to evolve? Not by doing the same thing over and over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, life is about evolution. It's about how we grew up, how we changed. Like, I remember before my mom passed, I was almost at 500 pounds. And then I sit there and say, you know what? I was spending so much time taking care of her and worry about her that I put myself to the side.
Mm.
One thing you should know about me, I have a pacemaker. I had my first heart attack when I was 39 years old. I was in the cardiac unit for a week. And, then 2 or 3 months later, I got my pacemaker surgery. And then, it wasn't that long ago, my mom got sick. And then I decided, you know what? She needs somebody. Everybody else was doing their own thing. I wasn't doing much. We lived together for a long time. My mom was my woman. I took care of her. She took care of me. And when I decided to start doing this content, something helped me with my mind, because there was a lot of things. Seeing her in the hospital, have to go, and sometimes she had like 4 seizures in like almost 4 years. Stroke. She was pre-diabetic. She was also getting to early age of dementia. And I decided, you know what, I got to take care of my mom. And then when she left and she passed, I said, you know what, I got to take care of me now. And then talking with women like yourself who are in the sport, was in the sport, I learned something about myself. I see some things that we share in common. Some things we might not share in common as much, but I learned what it takes to sacrifice you have to make and the decisions you have to make in your life. What's better for you than, let other people do what they want to do, but you got to do what's best for you and what helps you to, just your life better. Here we have a comment from a man, Kerry says, this from Davis. Davis Adams says, what's your favorite exercise workout? So you did yoga. What other exercise you do when you are working out? What's your favorites?
They're all my favorite. Depends what day it is. If it's leg day, legs my favorite. If it's shoulders, I love training. I've always loved training shoulders, delts. Biceps have always been my least favorite, funny enough. Yeah. So, but like I typically they all have value. I love it all. If I were to do just one, I would get bored, right? And then I would not love it. I think it's the variety I absolutely love, and understanding that it's all involved in symmetry, and I love it all.
Yeah. Well, you're one of the few women who say they don't like biceps, because that's weird, especially as a bodybuilder. But you're one of the few who say they love leg day. I'm saying that you're a freak, because no one likes leg day. No, when you give them, you doing that, you undo the leg machines, the leg presses, your legs feel like they're jello, and you're just like, oh no, it's okay, I can't take it anymore. But if you love something, you love it. My guess, everybody has their own different opinions. So as you are traveling the path of life and you're doing your own thing, what advice would you give somebody who's like kind of like in your predicament, who's saying, you know what, I did this for quite a long time and now I want to move on to something else? What would you tell somebody like that?
And tell them that that's a good place to be in, because and it is challenging. You're going to have an ego death and have to go through that. But you know, we're meant to master things, and then learn something new, and then master that and learn something new. That's what evolution. Death comes when you basically have no purpose, right? When you're not learning, when you're not doing anything new. We're continuously regenerating. So there's a lot of misconceptions about that you are genetically predisposed to things, but there's studies on epigenetics, you know, which is above the genetics. It depends on the environment that you create. You're not destined to fall into your family's, you know, disease patterns. If you break the patterns that cause the disease, you can break the patterns that cause the disease, and then you turn off the key. But that is, you have to do the different patterns, meaning you have to not feed your body the same foods, the same, and your brain the same thoughts. You have to break those patterns. So same thing when you're going into a different avenue in life. You know, once you're in a pattern for a while and you've mastered that pattern, you have to be like, then you come to a point where you're like, okay, is this pattern serving me anymore? It's no longer serving me. I need, like, you know, you can become bored and stagnant. Your spirit wants to evolve. Your spirit wants to learn something new. It wants to experience new things. So we're not meant to, but a lot of people, their ego gets trapped into a pattern and an identity, and they think like, I've done this, this is who I am, I'm not anybody else. Well, you're not anybody, you're not any of the things anyways. You're not even that thing that you think you are. So like, realistically, in order to have a fun, fulfilled, passionate life, when things are no longer passionate, then you have to relook at something new to light that passion, to like experience and get excited for. So it's a great place to be in, because you don't want to just go through life doing one freaking thing. I don't know, that's probably, that's one of like my fears, like, oh my God, you know, I'm going to live this life and that's the only thing I would have had experienced in my life. You know, I want to experience new things. I want to experience all that I can in a good way, that, you know, where I'm actually truly obtaining wisdom and self-mastery.
We have a comment from Kia. He says, Mandy could have been cast as Lucy movie instead of Scarlett Johansson. Remember that movie where the girl was
I
injecting
love
stuff? And yeah, I saw that movie. It's pretty good, you know.
I love that movie.
Also, yeah. Also, this is from KLA. He says, a woman that likes leg day is my kind of woman because she has thick legs. And also, this is from my man Vass. He says, do you think that FBB activity or not can be a relationship with an average man, or they mostly attracted to a man bodybuilders? Like, because you were in a relationship, your boyfriend that passed away, he was a bodybuilder. Your first, coach who was your boyfriend, and your husband competed too, or is he just,
No, he was just an average guy.
Yeah.
So no, that's a misconception, dude. Guys, you guys got to get it out of your projections. You guys got to stop looking at this and start seeing people for who they are. Just because they look like something doesn't mean that all of a sudden this projected storybook idea that you think, all of a sudden you guys put that onto the female bodybuilders or whatever. They're humans, we're humans, but let's look at it. It's not about, it's like, how is there something that we can feel attracted to? Is there some way that we can relate? You know, so if you are a lazy motherfucker and I'm an active person, we ain't gonna jive. Like, what kind of lifestyle are we gonna have? It's not because I look like a bodybuilder and you don't. It's because we're not compatible. It's about compatibility. It's not about looks. And it's like, okay, well, maybe, so, you know, I want someone who cares about their body and their health and loves themselves, and that actually wants to like learn and be active, like a engage in life with. So like, what are those are the things that I find attractive is like, do you care about learning and growing, and like, what are you passionate about? If you're passionate about something, like, to me, so passion is what's attractive. It's not how they look, it's how they operate and the energy that they're bringing into the world. So so that for me, there is no particular, I don't have oh, he has to have blue eyes and 6'2" and he has to, no, it's about, okay, it's individualized. If there's something there that, I find, you know, intelligence sexy. I find artistic people sexy. I find, like people who are passionate about something. When they're passionate and you see that passion, that's what makes somebody sexy.
Yeah, I think most guys, especially guys who follow these ladies, it's the mindset they think that you have to look like your body, but you have to be fitness. But here's the thing: is it's about. I've known ladies who husband doesn't look like he's a body, but he ain't even left a day in his life. I know guys who dated women who didn't look like she was a model. She was just a nice lady. They met before he got into it, or they met when he was competing. And it's about finding someone you bond with, you click with.
Mhm.
Relationships is important. I know a lady who she's a bodybuilder. Her husband looks like me. They're together for long to get kids, and they love each other and support each other. And that thing is important to find somebody who support what you do in your life. Who shares. They may not share your passion as much as you do, but if they can support you, your passion. Because I've known people who tell me that they lost friends because they got into this sport. Things it changed their life, and everybody went their own separate ways, but if those people were truly your friends, they accept that who the person you have become now, the person you were before. Here we got my man Voss. He says this. He says, Black Widow role also Catwoman and Batman. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because that's my favorite hero, Batman. Because why I like Batman, because he completes me. And also this is from my man Davis. He says, awesome. Shout out to him. And also this is from KLA. He says, do you get upset with the guy that is into female body? Because I think everyone is to blame for the fetish. That's just me. Well, here's the thing. I won't blame everyone. And if anything can be turned to a fetish. It doesn't have to be female bodybuilding. Guys be into, because doing content and this and talking to other people, anybody can take anything as a fetish. But I think with the female bodybuilding thing, it's really a small fetish. It has a small fan base. It's not as big. I think the guys, men's bodybuilding, have a bigger fan base compared to the women, because I know guys who told me that guys want foot fetish. Remember, I was watching a video I did a while back where we talked about how one guy was selling shirts because he was waiting for him to make a little change on his back. But it's all about the individual, what they want to do with their life, and what they feel like makes them happy or very comfortable. The choices they make. Also, this from KLA says, attraction is a MF, but I have to get burned in many ways. Yeah, but so I have too. But you know what? It's about how the best way to say it. And I my favorite movie is the Batman Begins series, which the Batman Begins starts as a trilogy. Why do we fall? Because we learn to pick ourselves up. And sometimes you have to take hits, and keep rolling in life. It's tough. You have to really live your life. You can't let one thing just make you take you out of your space just because it was something that never happened for you. So is do you still follow the sport, or you are now just from it?
Like I don't really, I mean, to be honest, I didn't follow the sport when I was doing it. Like, I didn't really I just focused on my own training and like looked at, certain specific competitors as inspiration. And I just, looked at it as an art form. Really, it was really about creating art. Um, so no, I don't. Now I'm not really following it. No.
Yeah. Is there anybody that when like you say, you look at other competitors, what do you see when you see a certain competitor, especially if you say it's an art? what do you, in your mindset, what you see when you see somebody who's a bodybuilder or just a regular person, especially if they're working out? What do you see?
I look at symmetry, right? And then I see like at what like um I see so many people, even regular people, and I'm like, wow, they're so beautiful, and they have so much like uh like I can see how you could work with that physique and how you could like make like if they were to work out and train the right things and do these things like how beautiful their physique, the potential of their physique is. But also now I'm at a place where I even see just like other regular physiques as just absolutely beautiful. I think all bodies are an art, and they speak a story. Um, but when I was looking at who I looked up to, was like, of course, it was Dana Lynn Bailey and Julianne McFarlane. Those are my two inspirations when I got into the sport, and they just absolutely have beautiful physiques that I was like, Dana Lynn Bailey, looked at her shoulders and I was like, everybody loves their shoulders. I was like, I gotta have shoulders like that, and I had kick-ass shoulders. And like Julianne McFarlane, I love her, like her lower body. And so like I would just like look at their physiques and just like look like, okay, I like this, I like that, I like that, okay. And then you create in your mind, and then you go to work.
Hmm. Like, that's one thing. Yeah, I know Damon Bailey is very popular when a lot of ladies come in, especially if you are getting to bodybuilding. Juliana Marcarne, that's also the one of the women who had the most championships as a Miss Olympic Physique champion. One person is, you remember my last year, I'm a fan of is Andrea Shaw. I am so I am. I just think she's just so beautiful. Great physique, great look. There's another competitor. She just switched over to women's bodybuilding. That is, um, Ashley Jones. She's just, I mean, beautiful shape, great definition. I mean, as a fan, I admire you, ladies. And yes, I'm going to admit my crime. I am a muscle purge schmo, but doing this content, talking to you women and asking you what got you in sport, what keeps you in sport, what's your passion, what you want to do. I really learned some stuff about y'all because a lot of people, just especially the everyday person, is gonna say this is big buff chick. Some people may not like it because there's always like I was talking earlier in one of the live stream how a guy we did you if a couple of reviews with that's Ryan from DD on Spot had him on channel before, how he posted on this thing how guys look at guys who like women with muscle as being gay. His thing is, I'm not gay. I mean, I find woman body attractive. One of my jobs, I used to work at a strip club, and I worked around women half naked all night and all night, and see them moving around, gyrating. I worked in textiles with women. I worked, jobs with men. I mean, it's just about the body's just different how you are, how you move, how you walk. There's certain beauty to some people. Not everybody's gonna be beautiful because I see some things that look good, but it's about your personality, yourself, who you are, where you want to go, and what you want to do in life. Those choices you have to make. And sometimes there's not everybody's gonna have an easy choice. Everybody has to sit down and think about what do I want most out of this? Do I want to live a healthy life? Do I want to live a fuller life? Do I want to do this? I want to do that. There's so much. This is, like I said, the human lifestyle is only so small, which is so short. It's a blink of an eye. In November, I'm going to be 50 years old. It's like I have a sister. She's older than me. She's in her 60s. I got another sister. I got a younger brother. I got nieces and nephews. I got great nieces and nephews. And I like to, like I said, I like to be around as long as I can. But I know eventually my time is up. It's going to happen. We're not immortal. It's unpredictable, but we have to live our best lives as long as we have it, as long as we can.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, are the things that you're doing conducive of that?
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I'm a fan. I really want to give you ladies the opportunity to share your story because a lot of people need to know what it takes and who you are as a person. One thing I wish that, especially, bodybuilders a little more look to, like if you say, I'm going to retire where I can have a nice pension that takes care of myself and things you can do, like, mainstream recognize your passion. I used to remember watching bodybuilding on television when I was a kid, but you don't see it anymore. You got to catch the live streams. But, you're where you found yourself and what your path you're going on is the path I think was chosen for you by you. And sometimes God will make a way. Sometimes I remember somebody told me after my brother died, God don't put no more than you can bear. And that's my big brother. He was the one, he really got me into this in a way because he used to get the muscle mags like that. And we learn from life what we want out of it the most. Here, this is from a man, KLA says, that's a good analog. Thank you, KL. Thank you. Even though you did not tell me she was coming, and this is one thing I pick on you, wearing robes and interviews. I'm gonna bust your balls on that always. So, but yeah, but I know you got your kids. They support you. They love you, friends and family, and you found your own path outside of the sport. A lot of people, they just can't. Like this is like it's like the movie Godfather. Bodybuilders like that. I've seen ladies who walked away from the sport, but it's like it keeps pulling me back in. They just keeps pulling back in. But now you found your own path. You're helping people. You're helping yourself. You're raising a family, and you're doing the things that's best for you. And that's a good thing. You're doing what's best for you. And I know the guys here be like, wonder where's she gonna come back? We saw the pictures. Yeah. This is who she is now. What she is now is gone. You can go to her IG, look at the pics and stuff like that, and fantasize whatever. But respect, because she's a lovely lady right here now. And respect who she has become. I know you guys, you have a particular look at that. Anytime I do interviews with female bodybuilders, guys get excited. They say, hey, George, we can talk to this person. We can talk to this person. I talk to people that interest me, that whose story might interest you, and maybe they might give you an inspiration what you want to do with your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're not gonna hold her much longer. We do appreciate the time she has given us. I know she's a busy lady. We got things to do, and how many to say I got people to do and things to see. So that's how we got to say. So, what would you say really is the most like? I remember one of my favorite movies, Conan. And at the end, the part where the guy says, "What is best in life?" He says, "You question your enemies, see doing for you, and keep the limitation of women." In your opinion, what you feel is best in your life?
What do I feel is best in my life?
Yeah.
To live to be authentic, to live a life in alignment.
Yeah. This is my man Kelly says, I like both. So thank you. So it's good. If you could take something from bodybuilding, even though what thing would you think you take from it that really
Can I cut you? So that's the thing is, with your viewers, or with, the thing, you all say that you respect the person. You all say that it's not just because you're not objectifying. Yet that's all you guys do. That's exactly what it is. You only like the look. You only like a specific look, and you're not actually knowing the person, and you pretend that you care. You pretend that you want to know the person, and you are not even getting to know yourself. You're refusing to see yourself. You're refusing to see the reasons why you're even attracted to it. You don't want to take in the things that you say you want to be inspired, but you're not inspired. You're just sexually turned on and refusing to understand what that means. My thing is, when do you guys want to actually truly get to know yourself? When do you want to actually truly make a good, do right by yourself and stop lying to yourselves and stop lying to others? You are objectifying, and so are a lot of the women in bodybuilding. I objectified myself as well. I played into that. So you got to eventually get to where you're being honest to yourself. So stop lying to yourself and start, when are you going to actually take in the things that are good for you, truly good and healthy for you, and to stop pretending and saying you are this one thing, but you're totally living life overdoing the opposite things. you say, okay, I'm attracted to women in bodybuilding because of their passion. Well, passion is experienced in so many different ways. So it's not passion because it's just the image. And so you're continuously only looking at this. And if you look at history and all the crap, these two eyes have caused so much torture, pain, darkness, because these trick you. When you can't get beyond that. It's like freaking I don't even want to get into it, but there's a religion and how much we've gone through that, skin color and culture. Like, these here trick you. That's not you're still pretending like, oh, we're better in society, when no, now there's male and female, and people are like fighting each other because of gender stuff. You're not really getting to know the person. And when you're not, and the reason you're not is because you're refusing to know yourself. So you got to get curious about why you like the things that you do, why you're doing the things that you do, why you're not doing the things that are good for you, and just get curious. You got the reasons you have these blockages and these fears that are coming up. So you're refusing, you're even deflecting to get into knowing these aspects, because there's like all these limiting beliefs and these actual fears, when the only thing you should fear is doing the things, is not knowing yourself and not doing what's right for yourself. So yeah, I'm frustrated because you come up and it's just like, oh, you're not, I love this person because they're big and huge, but and you don't even understand why you love that person. And you're not actually truly loving it. If you truly loved it, why are you not doing something? Why are you not living and being inspired and taking some of that into your own life? Like, why are you truly loving that person? But really, you're so blind to your own needs and what your desires mean, that instead of taking it in and integrating it, you're just jerking off to it.
Here's the thing is this: people are humans. We're not evolved creatures yet. We're gonna go
but you
by.
have the potential to be. It's a choice.
Wait. I let you talk. Let me finish. This is my job. It's my shit. I built this shit, brick by brick, hand by hand. This is how it is. People are not evolved yet. We're still in a state where we go by what fascinates us. We go by the thing that excites us, especially men. As you guys said again, men are visual creatures. Like I said, I work in a strip club. I used to see guys go there and spend the money on the girl they like. They'll spend the money on the girl that excites them. These guys, as you know, these guys are my followers. Some of these guys, I consider my friends. They like sport because there's something different about it. It's not something that sometimes there's something you just don't understand. You just follow something because you like it. Because you might something about it, and even everything's gonna be sexualized. That's how it is. We're humans. We go by the thing between our legs, not the thing between our two shoulders half the time. We make the choices because of our desires. Sometimes our desire overtakes our mental process. Some people will be a little bit smarter, but sometimes something you have to learn. You have to learn that in life. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to see the things that may not be healthy for you, but you just follow it. See, this is my saying. I can tell you either the ugly truth or the pretty lie. There's no halfway of it, because you know what? Nothing's ever perfect. You have to make those choices for yourself. Now, these guys here, if they just look at the big pump women that excite them, that's on them. But if they're the type of guys that, you know what? I'm a fan because I like the fact that this sports is something I'm a fan of. I like seeing how the body grows, how it develops. Like when you go to the Olympics, you watch the athletes, they're running. You see the beauty of the speed of the body, how the girls are flipping or in gymnastics, how the guys are doing track and field, swimmers. We look to the body is a beautiful thing. It's just it's an art. It's one of the things that God made with his own hands, and everybody's different. And I know there's never going to be a simple answer to anything until you meet the man upstairs. Like, I'm not a religious person. I do have faith in God. I don't get faith too much to church like that. I have been to church maybe in 2 or 3 years. Mom used to always take us. We used to all go. But then we got old, like this kind of gets, I remember somebody said, well, did somebody hurt church? No, I just realized that some people take anything, especially as religion, and they take it and use it as a tool or weapon for themselves, for their ideology or whatever else. But it's up to us as a person what we're going to do, what decide. I know it's tough. And I know sometimes dealing with these guys can be a hassle. That's why I tell guys, they don't send D pics because that's disgusting. We don't like that. I talked to ladies who told me about that shit, And yes, we had jerked off because it's something that size. It doesn't matter if it's a women's bodybuilder, if it's a porn star, if it's, just anything. It's just something that our mind, our body is attracted to. And as men, that's the only thing we have. We have this thing between our two legs. Like I remember one of my uncles told me this. He used to always get an argument with my aunt. And one thing he always said, that this is something he used to learn a long time ago, said, only thing I would beat a woman with is between my two legs, never with his fist. Because he even though him and my aunt didn't get along much, he loved her. He wouldn't do nothing against her. My father, he wasn't the same man as my uncle. But every man is different. And every person, when you look at you, you're a lovely lady. You're a smart lady. You're passionate about your life, and you found something that you want to do. And yes, it's the tough part about this. It's the dark side to the sport. It's the dark side to anything, And everybody has to make that choice. Do you let the dark get too much in your life, or you say, you know what, it's just something that is, and let's just move on. This is my man. KLA says, damn, George, I respect that. Thank you, brothers. Thank God to you. And also, this is from a man, KL says, would you want to find someone in the future, Mandy? So I think he's looking for a girlfriend. But I think she's in a place she's now. I think she's happy. Maybe someday, but I don't know if it's you, KLA. I don't know if it's anybody. But whenever you meet somebody, and if it's the right person, you would know it. You would feel it. You would sense it. Because me, I'm too much of a loner. I'm a Scorpio. We are, like I remember it's the fable of the scorpion and the frog. The scorpion asked the frog to get it. Actually, the scorpion wanted to get a ride across the river. He asked the beaver. The beaver said no. He asked a turtle. The turtle said no. He asked the frog. Frog said, "You'll sting me." He said, "No, I won't sting you, because I want to get across to the river." So the frog let the turtle the frog let the scorpion get on his back. While riding across the river, middle ways, the scorpion stings the frog. As they're drowning, the frog says to the scorpion, "Why'd you did it? Why'd you sting me? We're gonna die. We're gonna die." And what Scorpion said to the frog, is in my nature. I'm a Scorpio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but here's the thing: we've evolved. We have evolved. There's a
Not yet. Not
hippocampus.
yet. Not yet. We have a long way to go. If we
Yeah,
wouldn't,
and each that's where everybody's journey is unique, right? And it's up to you to determine how long it's going to take you to evolve. But everybody has the potential, the choices that you make. So it's up to you how long it's going to take you on that journey of evolution, right? So you can say, and put yourself out there to say, like, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because we haven't evolved, and use that as an excuse, right? To stay in your same patterns, and to choose to have cognitive dissonance about your own life, right? So there's always a choice, and you can, and then it's up to you whenever that's going to set into you in your journey, or anybody's, like, to anybody, not just like, in general, to anybody. And when they're going to actually start to get curious about what things mean, and why is this like that, and why is that like that, and to want to actually truly get to know yourself. Most people, that's, you're scared of yourselves, and you're scared of who you really are. Well, when you start to uncover all the layers, you truly find out that you are this loving divine essence, that you've just been scared of your own life. And
well, like I said, where I live, a lot of people just go by, just tradition. Like my father was a sharecropper. My grandfather was a sharecropper. His grandfather was a slave. I sharecrop. It's just space. People just go by their habits of how they grow up, and then humans, we have to learn something different. When we learn something different, it's good, but we still haven't evolved yet. We're still go by possessions. We still got wants and needs. Maybe someday, maybe in a couple of 100 years or more, we'll probably evolve a little more. But right now, we're in the stage we are now. And change is something that's hard for some people. Some people are complacent. Some people don't want to change. They're comfortable where they are. They like who they are. They like how their life is. Sometimes it's a risk when you go out to make a change because there's so much, it's so easy. Like you get up in the morning, before you go work out, you want to train. Some days I know you may not want to get up in the morning and work out. You just want to sleep a little extra hours, and then do what you want to do. But like I said, it's up to that person. That person is a person, not people in the whole, but the person, if they want to make those changes and maybe do things that's different, that's not in their comfort zone, put themselves out there. Here we got a comment from my man David. Says, it's my man Boy 2000s. I always try to get amplified because I am myself. I tell it like it is. Thank you, brother. Also, this is from my brother again, KLA. I was just asking to, bro, that's all because she is a handful, respectfully. and also he says, everyone third eye can't be open. Some have to be closed. And also he says one more here. He says, this was a good debate for today and an interview. Yes, I love when we get here and we just have conversation back and forth. We can be respectful with each other. And like I said, this is my shit. I built it brick by brick. But like I said, yeah, I truthfully believe that people have to make their own choices and they have to be willing and wanting it. Like even like this, the devil doesn't take souls unless they want to be taken. You have to make that choice. If you don't make that choice, then he's not going to take it. He even has rules. So, ma'am, I appreciate the time you have given me. We had it was a good discussion. We've been here. I think the longest I've been was maybe one person like 3.5 hours almost. Yeah. So that's one thing. I let you ladies. Sometimes some ladies are just they like to talk. And some ladies just say a few words. But you are an intelligent lady, and also to say. My other like to say, he also like says, you are beautiful. Yeah.
My cat went, what is that?
It's my alter ego. I know some ladies find it entertaining because, this is why I always want my interviews to be informative, also entertaining. People need to learn that everybody's different. Everybody has their own ideal and everybody has their own path in life. You have made yours. I know with a lot of people, maybe people that knew you before saying why she did this, because it was something that you wanted to do. It was your choice, and it's hard for, like I said, a lot of competitors, it's hard for them to walk away.
And that's part of that is an evolutional process too. How do you walk away from something that you built and that you have so much potential in as well? Continued. And so that was also something that was like, okay, spiritually speaking, God's given me a choice and says, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's your spirit and your choice you can make. And God gives you that, ask you that question, you answered it. Here, this is from a man, Panther 97. Shout out to Panther. He says this. He says, hello, brother George, beautiful Mandy and chat. Hope everyone is having a blessed Tuesday. Sorry I missed the stream. I know it was an amazing discussion. Hope to see Mandy on more. Well, I hope so too. We appreciate if she ever comes on. If you maybe want to shoot the shit, she's a welcome guest. I always welcome you ladies. I try to give y'all an opportunity. This is why my challenge is to give y'all ladies the voice so you can be able to reach out, let people know you're not just this big buff chick. They like to go, we want to know that you're a woman. You're a mom, you're a businesswoman, you're a coach, you're helping people. And this is why I give y'all ladies opportunities to come out here and share your story, because people may not know, or whatever. This is for a man. Okay, he started picking me. So he says, okay, Franklin Saint. Yeah, because I built this. Yeah. So before I let you go, you have anybody want to say hello, thank you to before we let you go?
I'm not. I would probably say hello and thank you to my kids, but they wouldn't be watching this. So, I guess thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for your time and your like engagement with, I know that it's I'm speaking, and for others who have watched, I know that it's probably something completely different than, the normal avenue. The thing that I would like people to take away with is just like ask yourself if like, are you living this life as a spectator of your like, or are you actually participating in your life? And then perhaps maybe how would that feel to plant a seed of wanting to actually, bloom and bloom in this life? And what would that mean to actually be a participant in your own, in this experience? Because life is delicate. Like we only, and it's meaningful. And so like, are you actually living a life of meaning? And what does that mean to you? And that can mean a whole bunch of different things. You don't have to do something great, but like, are you truly engaged and fully participating in life? Or are you just sitting and watching everybody else participate? And then when you pass away and you do a life review and you look back at how you lived this life, are you going to be completely happy and satisfied? And let that be your compass to how you should go about today and each day.
Well, one of my favorite quotes was like this: "Don't watch me, watch TV." So that's how I feel sometimes. But when I do this, because this is something I said is I being a fan of you ladies, being a fan of the sport. This is why I do this, because some people need to give y'all the voice that need to share it, to understand that who you are. You're not just this lady that's, who used to be a bodybuilder. You are, instead again, your mother. You are a friend. You're a coach. You're someone who has a passion. You're one who's you're a higher intellect. You might say. And I think that's people need to understand that part. I know this guy will make comments say like, do this, do that. No, she's not here for that, guys. She's here to talk about her story herself. Anything else is not that important. But it's about where you go, where you can see yourself in your life, and what process you want to take this. This is, like I said, life is fleeting. You're born, then you die. And in between that time, you're just living. And some people are going to be spectators. That's how it is. But there are some people who are going to put themselves out there in the world and see what they get out of it. You just gotta do, like the quote again, another legend, my favorite, Rocky Balboa. It's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can take the hits and keep moving forward. This is how you can take the hits and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. I love quoting Rocky. Yo, Adrian, yeah. So yeah. So I'd like to thank you again, and I appreciate the time you give me. I'd like to shout out my man KL the Wanderer, also Vass, War 2000, Path 97, Balls Deep, Davis Adams. All you who are here who watch this video, if you missed it like Panther did, check it out again. Watch it. If you are someone who wants to follow Mandy and you're interested, maybe some lifestyle changes. She is a coach, she's a trainer. Don't just follow because she's pretty. She got some pretty eyes. She got a nice body. Come on. Follow her as who she is, as a teacher. And I know, guys, you have questions your teacher, but hey, respect her, the lady. She's, this is my mom, guys. Okay. So, folks, I'd like to thank you again. I'd like to thank you, Mrs. Squires, for taking time out to talk with me. I wish you all the best of luck in your path and your intellect, your third eye.
Thank you so much.
I like to quote my man, the Dark Knight, the Batman says, "You never have to." Yeah, I say. So, folks, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and we see you on here again. And thank you for supporting these ladies. I also supporting my channel. It's Man on the Way Church page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. I am out. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.